Life in Owerri has never been easy for the Chukwumas. But in recent months, recent times, things have gotten really worse. Mr. Chukwuma is a school teacher who has always worked hard for his family. But now, he found himself powerless. The government has not paid teachers in many months, stretching to even years. And the family's small savings dried up too soon, too fast. Mr. Chukwuma's 4 teenage children, Emeka, Ada, Tunde and Nneka, are hungry and angry, and they are unruly. Emeka said angrily, "Daddy, where's the food? We haven't eaten properly in days." Tunde said, "I am tired of eating the same thing every day." Mr. Chukwuma has no answers for them. His mind is clouded with worry. His wife, Ngozi, has been the one holding things together. But even she was beginning to break under the pressure. Ngozi worked for a small private company, but her salary wasn't enough to keep the household running. Day after day, she carries the weight of her family on her back. But she has become tired of shouldering the entire burden alone. She began to think aloud. "I've been giving up so much for this family. What about my dreams? I can't keep sacrificing everything while Chukwuma does nothing, no income, no hope." But as she packed her things, a wave of guilt washed over her. She thought of her children, her family, everything she was about to leave behind. Ngozi started thinking aloud again. "I can't reply. They will never understand. But I can't stay here. I can't do this anymore." Ngozi knew she couldn't turn back now. The life she wanted was waiting for her in Abuja. In the stillness of the night, Ngozi left the home she had known for over 20 years. Her heart was heavy, but her mind was set on the future. Abuja, the city where dreams come true. For Ngozi, this was her chance to leave her struggles behind. Alhaji Usman smiles at Ngozi and says, "Welcome to your new life. Forget the past. Let me take care of you." Ngozi's heart pounded as she stepped into a new world of wealth and luxury. But at what cost? She started thinking within, "This is the life I have always wanted. The life I deserve. But why does it feel so heavy?" As the city lights sparkled around Ngozi, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. She couldn't shake that off. That the life she had built was fading into the past. For Ngozi, this was just the beginning of a new chapter. But the family she left behind would never be the same. As Ngozi's new life unfolded in Abuja, the family she abandoned struggled in her absence. But little did she know the future had surprises waiting for them all. Great surprises. Well, Abuja is everything Ngozi had dreamed it would be. Vibrant, luxurious, and filled with endless possibilities. As she settled into her new life, far from the struggles of her family, it was easy to forget the past. or so she thought. For the first time in years, Ngozi had money, cash, ego wokudi, security and freedom. Alhaji Usman, her new lover, was a wealthy contractor with connections that ran deep in the city. As they sat down in the expensive restaurant, Alhaji Usman said to Ngozi, "Ngozi, you deserve to live like this. No more stress, no more struggling. In Abuja, you will have everything you have always wanted. Everything you have ever wanted." Ngozi said within her, "Everything I've ever wanted. It feels so good to be cared for. But why can't I stop thinking about them? I mean, my children?" But even in the midst of her newfound luxury, Ngozi couldn't escape the shadow of the family she had left behind. The guilt gnawed at her heart, a constant reminder that her choice had come at a great cost. Real great cost. Back at home, Alhaji Usman's wife Zainab had grown suspicious of her husband's frequent absences. It wasn't long before she began to piece together the truth. Zainab's voice was trembling with rage. "So this is where all the money is going? To some other woman?" For Zainab, this was a betrayal like no other. Her world was about to come crashing down. Back in Owerri, where they once called home, Ngozi's children were barely holding on. The once lively home had fallen into chaos. Ada has become exasperated. She said, "I can't do this anymore. Mom is gone and Dad is, well, he's useless. We are on our own." Ada had taken on the role of a caregiver, but she was growing resentful of her mother's absence. Emeka, the eldest, had found a temporary escape in football, but even he felt the weight of the family's troubles. Emeka began to think too. "I can't stay here. I need to get out. Somehow." Each day in Abuja, Ngozi's guilt grew heavier. She had left her children to fend for themselves, and no amount of money could ease the ache in her heart. She said to herself, "They don't understand. I had to leave. But maybe I left too much behind." But Ngozi's new life in Abuja was about to come crashing down. Zainab had finally tracked her down, and she wasn't about to let Ngozi destroy her family. Zainab is angry, furious. She was very angry. She said, So you are the one who thinks she can take what is mine? Let me make one thing clear, Ngozi. You are nothing, and you will never be more than his mistress. Never." Ngozi stammered, I didn't mean to." Zainab cut her off and said, "Save it. You are going to pay for this." For the first time, Ngozi's new life seemed fragile. The world she had built was about to shatter. Zainab wasn't going to let Alhaji Usman or Ngozi off the hook. She would take everything and leave them both with nothing. Zainab calls her lawyer. I said on the phone, "I want the divorce papers ready. He's going to lose everything." And with that, Zainab began her plan to ruin the life Ngozi had built. For Ngozi, the dream of a new life was slipping through her fingers. She had traded her family for luxury, but now she was on the verge of losing it all. As the walls of Ngozi's new life began to close in, Back home, her children faced their own struggles, unaware of the storm that was coming for them all. Back in Owerri, the Chukwuma children were barely surviving. With their mother gone and their father too broken to offer guidance, they were slipping through the cracks. Chukwuma, once a proud man, had sunk deeper into despair. He couldn't provide for his children, and it broke him. His 4 children, Emeka, Ada, Tunde, and Nneka, were just on their own. Emeka, feeling frustrated, said, "We can't live like this anymore." Ada angrily asked, "What are you going to do about it? Mom is gone. Dad is nothing." For Emeka, football was his only escape from the chaos. And Ada, she had found hers in social media. But nothing could take away the reality of their situation. Football became Emeka's sanctuary. It wasn't long before his talent was noticed by someone who could change his life. So one day a man approached him. A scout. "You've got talent, kid. Real talent, boy. Come train with us. Would make you a star. Would make you a star, that's the truth. Just come with us." Emeka had been given an opportunity. With each passing day, he worked harder, determined to rise above his circumstances. Emeka began to think, "This is my way out. I'll make them proud." Ada found her own path through the digital world. What started as an escape from reality soon became a platform for advocacy. Her voice resonated with thousands. Listen to her. "We deserve better. The youth of Nigeria deserve better. It is time for us to take control of our future." Ada became a national influencer, advocating for the rights of the youth and calling for educational reform. She was making a difference, far from the life she once knew. But the biggest surprise came from Nneka, the youngest of the Chukwuma children. Her voice, her gift, was undeniable. One day somebody called her on the phone and said, "Your voice is unlike anything we've ever heard, Nneka. We want to sign you to a record deal." Nneka began to think, can I really do this? Can I make it on my own? Nneka's rise to global stardom was quick and extraordinary. Her voice had reached millions and she had become a global sensation. The Chukwuma children, despite their newfound fame, never forgot their father. They knew how much he had sacrificed, and they returned to give him the life he deserved. Emeka said, "Dad, we know you've been through a lot, but we are here now. This is for you." Chukwuma had lived through years of hardship, but now his children had returned, not as the broken teenagers he once knew, but as stars. Ngozi saw news on her children on her phone. "They did it," she said. "They became stars without me. I left them, and they thrived. What have I done?" For Ngozi, guilt consumed her. The children she had left behind had risen to greatness, and she wasn't there to see it. The life she had chased after, the wealth and luxury, now felt empty. Ngozi had traded her family for success, but now her children had moved far beyond her reach. As the Chukwuma children rose to stardom, their mother, Ngozi, was left to face the consequences of her choices. But in Abuja, the storm was far from over. The past was about to catch up with her. Success had brought the Chukwuma children to the heights of fame, national heroes, global stars. But despite all they had achieved, there was one thing they could not escape: their mother's absence. For years, they had lived without her. They had built their own lives, forged their own paths, but now they had come to face the woman who had abandoned them. Emeka thought within himself, she left us, and now we are here to face her. And I was thinking in her head, what do I even say to her after everything she did? Nneka was like, will she even recognize us? For Ngozi, the years had passed in silence. Though she had found wealth and comfort, her guilt had never left her, and now it seemed the past had come to confront her. They came to face her. As she opened the door, she said nervously, I didn't expect to see you people here. Emeka said coldly, we need to talk. For many years, Ngozi had built walls around herself, walls made of wealth and distance. But now, sitting across from her children, those walls began to crumble. Emeka asked, why did you leave us? You abandoned us when we needed you the most. Do you even know what we went through? Ngozi's brain was swinging. She said inside herself, I did what I had to do. I needed to survive, but I hurt them. I hurt them all. She said softly, I didn't know what else to do. I couldn't stay. I couldn't keep living like that. I am sorry. I am so sorry. Emeka said, sorry? That's all you have to say? While you were here, living in luxury, we were struggling. We had to fight for everything. Ada said, you left us. Mommy, you left us. You didn't even try. You walked away. And we had to raise ourselves. Do you have any idea what that was like? Nneka, crying, said, I used to wait for you every day. I thought you would come back, but you never did. Ngozi said, please forgive me. I know I made mistakes, but I love you. I've always loved you. Emeka said, we didn't need your love, we needed you. But now, we have built our own lives. We made it without you. For Emeka, Ada, and Nneka, this was the closure they had long sought. They had faced their mother, and now they were free. But while Ngozi was dealing with the past she had abandoned, Zainab was planning her revenge. She had discovered her husband's affair with Ngozi, and she wasn't going to let either of them escape unscathed. Zainab said, let's see how they like losing everything. The lawyer said, it's over, Usman. You are losing everything. Your assets, your properties, everything is gone. The life Ngozi had built was gone. Alhaji Usman had lost everything, and with him, so had Ngozi. Ngozi spoke to herself. What have I done? I left them for this. Now I have nothing. In the end, Ngozi had traded her family for a life of luxury. But that luxury has crumbled. She was left alone, broken, and without the family she had once taken for granted. As the Chukwuma children moved forward with their lives, Ngozi was left to face the ruins of hers. But the storm that had begun was far from over. With everything she had once cherished slipping through her fingers, Ngozi stood on the edge of ruin. She had lost her children, her wealth, and her future. All that remained were the shattered pieces of her past. The woman who had once left her family behind in search of a better life was now being forced to leave everything she had built. Alhaji Usman's financial ruin had taken her down with him. Ngozi began to talk to herself. This wasn't supposed to happen. I left them so I could have more. But now I have nothing. Ngozi's world had crumbled. She had traded her family for wealth only to lose both in the end. For Zainab, this was a final victory. She had taken everything from Alhaji Usman and Ngozi, leaving them with nothing but the wreckage of their affair. Zainab said to herself, they thought they could destroy my family, but now they have destroyed themselves. For Zainab, this was justice, but for Ngozi, it was the end of the life she had chosen. With nowhere else to go, Ngozi returned to the place she had once fled, the small town where she had left her family behind, where everything had begun. Ngozi said, they all know. They know what I've done, what I have lost. How do I even begin to face them? Standing in front of the house she had once called home, Ngozi felt the weight of her past mistakes crashing down around her. Could she ever find redemption? Could she ever face the children she had abandoned? Ngozi said softly, I don't know if you ever forgive me, but I'm here. I'm here to ask for a second chance. For the Chukwuma children, this was the moment they had never expected. The mother who had abandoned them had returned, broken and remorseful. Emeka responded, we have built our lives without you, Mom. We've succeeded despite everything you did. But that doesn't mean we don't feel the pain of what you did. Ada said, you left us when we needed you the most. You chose your life over ours. And now you have come back, asking for what? Forgiveness? Nneka said, I waited for you every day. I waited for you to come back, but you never did. For Ngozi, this was the moment she had feared the most. The moment when she had to face the consequences of her actions. The pain she had caused her children. Emeka then said, we have moved on, Mom. We have built our lives without you. But that doesn't mean we don't care about you. You are still our mother. But things will never be the same. Then Ada said, we can't forget what you did, but we are not going to turn our backs on you. Nneka said, we'll never stop loving you, Mom, but you have to earn your place back in our lives. For the first time in years, there was a glimmer of hope. The road to redemption would be long, but perhaps there was a chance for healing. The past could not be undone, but the future was yet to be written. And in that moment, there was a small but significant step toward healing. Ngozi thought within herself, maybe, just maybe, there's still a chance for me. Yeah, though the road ahead was uncertain, for the Chukwuma family, there was a small hope that the wounds of the past could one day heal, and perhaps, in time, the family could find peace once more. Yeah, in the end, the past could not be forgotten, but it was not beyond redemption. Wow, the Chukwumas, wow. Ngozi's quest for a better life Better money made her abandon her family, abandoning her little children. Wow. What advice do you have for women like Ngozi? Was it Mr. Chukwuma's fault that the government wasn't paying him? Wow. And she abandoned her family. Well, thank God the children turned out so good. They became stars. What do you think? Did they do the right thing to have welcomed her back home? What do you think? Or should they have just kicked her out in the rain? Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please encourage us to roll out more African folk tales, more African real life stories by giving this video a thumbs up, and also subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so. Yes, please remember to click the bell icon so you would be among the first to know when we upload another very interesting story video. And please share our stories with your friends and family. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being there for us. This is African Folk Tales ChinChin. Till our next video, remain truly amazing. Goodbye.